Hey BookTube, hi. Okay, so this is a weird one for me because I have been a fan of Roxane Gay for years. I have known about her for years. I have seen her interviewed on PBS NewsHour where she gave commentary about the Black Lives Matter movement. I thought her interview was really powerful. I've also heard her on podcasts like This American Life and Dear Sugar, and I've known her to be a talented writer, though I had never experienced her writing myself. So I know about Roxane Gay, and I really like what she has to say. But this is going to be a review, and it's a mixed one about her memoir, Hunger, which is subtitled A Memoir of My Body. So, without further ado, I guess we'll just jump into my review of this. So, Hunger was published by HarperCollins in 2017, and this is, I believe, Roxane Gay's second nonfiction work behind Bad Feminist, which is her first collection of essays about feminism, though I haven't read it. I listened to this book as Roxane Gay was my narrator. She did a fantastic job narrating her own story. She has a real depth of emotion, and she really had a beautiful cadence to her reading. No qualms with that. Just a fantastic reader for her own story. So the book opens up and she makes it really clear that this isn't a story about triumph. This is not a story where she weighed X amount of pounds and she lost half of them. And now she is a better, more evolved human because she has lost a bunch of weight. That is not what this is. This is her grappling with what her body means, and she calls it wildly undisciplined. She eats, and she weighs quite a bit. You know, she even calls like a woman who embodies a larger body, but can still fit into Lane Bryant clothes, like Lane Bryant fat, because that means that they still have these curves and are very feminine and beautiful. But she sees herself as beyond that, and she is a large-bodied woman. So let's get into the story. So as I've said, a lot of it is her trying to figure out what her body means to her. All right, this would not be a Shelly video if there wasn't 100 interruptions. So, what was I saying? Okay, so Roxane Gay, she kicks off her relationship with her body when she's about 12 years old. And she is, and this is early on in the book, and for any of you, all the trigger warnings, because she is brutally sexually assaulted, and at the time she decides not to tell anybody in her family. She really internalized the assault as her fault, and that's really hard to hear. Actually, as I was listening to her tell that part of the story, my heart swelled with emotion, and I really, it took my breath away. And so that really kicks off the beginning of the relationship with her body. And so over the years, she gains weight, and that it becomes, she really starts to self-loathe quite a bit throughout the novel. And I really enjoyed the parts where she was talking a lot about about her relationships and her personal experiences from the time that she's 12, these pivotal moments, either with her body or with other people, the way that she sees herself, and these moments that she's in. I thought that was really both touching, poignant, gritty at times, and really emotionally driven. So as she's telling these little stories about herself and how they relate back to the way that she either sees her body or feels about her body, or the way that her body has changed, I thought those were really done so well, because she talks about what relationships meant to her, what she sought because of how she felt about herself, which were typically pretty unhealthy relationships. And then throughout the book, it's dotted with commentary about fatness, about our bodies in America, in the United States, and the way that we see our bodies, and more social commentary about our bodies. And this I thought worked a lot less well. So a little background about me. I have been somebody who has enjoyed the internet quite a bit, and as a young lady I have followed the body positivity movement from its, at least this iteration of it, from when it sort of kicked off. 2017, well not 17, maybe 2019, 20, 21. I've been following it as this movement has really gained traction and taken off. So body positivity, body neutrality, thick thighs save lives, all of that stuff. Like, I am here for it. I love it. I love that there's health at any size, that there are women primarily taking back their stand about their bodies. Like, if somebody inhabits a larger body, like, who the F cares? Like, they're large and proud and beautiful. And I like absolutely love that. I'm here for it. And I was thinking about how, considering Roxane Gay's book was published in 2017, I wonder how much her book was a bit of a catalyst to this whole movement, whether it was consciously or subconsciously. I don't know that many, influencers or, articles that said, oh, I read Roxane Gay's book and that it really kind of helped me understand my body. But I wouldn't be surprised if her book was added fuel to the fire for this movement. However, though, all of the times when she dots her book with commentary about bodies, I thought it didn't work very well. I actually thought it was pretty flat. I thought that there could be a lot more that could be explored. There was a couple of sections where she just talks about some statistics, and I don't know, I thought, man, for a writer as talented as she is, I thought, wow, you could have really done a little more digging, a little more exploring. I don't know if maybe I wanted something more. Maybe I'm really more at that spot where I could read Olivia Lang's Every Body. I'll link that down below. I've heard about it from Britta Bowler, and she talks about really the Olivia Lang talks about the body, like the way the body functions. And I think I'm more at that stage in my reading than needing my mind to be changed about those who inhabit larger bodies, or fat bodies, however it wants to be termed. So that's just me and Roxane Gay. Like, her commentary about bodies, it didn't really work for me. Oh, one moment. At least my kid has good timing. It was like a good time to transition. Okay, so there's her actual story, her experiences with her body and how it changes over the years, her commentary about bodies in the United States, larger bodies in the United States, and then she also talks about her specific relationship with her body, and it's not a good one. It's full of a lot of self-loathing. I would even go so far as possibly self-hatred, punishment, and just a lot of sadness around the way Roxane Gay feels about her body. And in those moments, I just wanted to give her a big, huge hug. I wanted to say, like, you deserve love, you are worthy of love, all of the cheesy things, and she's not even a hugger, but I still wanted to give Roxane Gay, like, I wanted to take her in my arms in the warmest embrace possible and just say, like, don't think this of yourself. And it's so much easier said than done. But when those parts came, I really, it was like, I don't know if it was the teacher in me or the mom in me, but I was like, girl, I want you, like, don't think this about your body. Just don't. And I know that it was like, it made me angry. It made me angry and empathetic and all of the emotions. So in that way, I thought it was good, but there was like this, I wanted her to go into a place where she was a bit more accepting. And I don't think she gets there. It's very, like, in process. This book is in process of how she feels about her body and how she's felt about her body. And it doesn't end up in this, like, wonderfully triumphant place, but it doesn't even feel, like, very accepting. And there was this part of me that I was just like, I want you to, like, love yourself, girl. Like, come on. Like, you're such a great writer. You are such a great, I mean, there's so many qualities about you that, like, I don't know, like, I don't want you to be hung up by your body. But that's just me, and that's just how, like, I felt about Roxane Gay, and, like, the way that I took her writing. And in that way, like, I have read other books that talk about women's bodies. I think about Glennon Doyle has done a couple of memoirs that I have listened to. Those, I mean, you know, she's someone that I love to sort of hate on. I'm sorry if somebody really loves her, but I really love to, like, pick on her in my home because it's this, like, hybrid of woo-woo and body stuff. So in regards to, like, Roxane Gay, where she ranks with other memoirists that are, you know, within the same category, I thought she did really well. But again, there was definitely parts where I was like, man, girl, I want you to, like, love yourself more and to not let your body get in the way of how you feel about yourself. But, you know, she talks about why and explores those feelings to a modicum amount of depth. But overall, I thought it was good. It was a good book. It was a solid read. But I think that it really wasn't for me. It was more for somebody who doesn't know a lot about the body positivity movement, who doesn't know that there was a shift in thinking about bodies over the last several years, women's bodies in particular, and so on and so forth. But the one thing that this book did give me was a deeper empathy for women, or for those who have suffered through an assault, survivors, you know, survivors or victims, however you want to say it. I really felt a lot of empathy for those who have really suffered this this horrible thing of sexual assault. So it grew my empathy. It didn't grow me as much as I wanted it to. It was still a solid listen. I enjoyed it. It didn't turn me off to her further readings. I still own Bad Feminist. I still want to read that, but I have a better idea of, like, her approach and her voice in her writing in particular. Again, I was really familiar with her as a social commentarian or whatever. Yeah. So that's it from me. I know that was a quick one. I have read a couple of books that I need to do little book reviews on. So you might see those dotted throughout the next couple of weeks. But yeah, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. And I'll say goodbye from me and my little Harry. All right, bye guys.